7 whole years of waiting, but at long last, Grand Blue Season 2 has finally came to us. And trust me, the diving club hasn't changed one bit at all.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
This episode starts off with Iori's little sister writing a letter to Iori, which is never, ever a good thing. Naturally, Iori considers what to respond with, and he just straight responds with lies and delusions. But she already can kind of sense that something's up, right? It is Pab after all, and she sent Iori these like cute plushies that have like built-in like surveillance systems on them. Look at this face from Shiori. She knows something. We get to see Chisa and Iori start to cook, while Aina feels maybe a little bit jealous of their time together, and she gets Iori straight up out of there, bro. She does not want him near Chisa. And here comes Kohei with his like 1,000-yard stare as Iori's sister gets mentioned, because nothing activates his fight or flight instincts faster than a Kitahara family update. I mean, man, just look at those faces, man. What are we doing, Kohei? They try sending Shiori a wholesome picture, you know, a more like opposite of what Grand Blue is type picture. And they don't have any of those. And like Iori is just trying to goon to a picture of Nanaka and Azusa. Then Iori, being the gooner that he is, tries to take the picture from Chisa, and she's over here like PTSD flashbacks reminiscing in defense mode. We get more Iori being a flat out gooner. Bro tries to sneak into the bathroom to get this picture, and nobody was falling for that, my guy. And of course, you know Iori is on that gooner type timing. Bro sneaks into Chisa's room to steal a pic, and he gets caught immediately. And then we get this like shonen type showdown between the two, and they're just throwing hands at each other, going in. They don't know what the fuck's going on. The battle ends when Chisa like throws a book, ricochets off the wall, hits Iori in the head, hits Chisa in the head, and they both fall on each other. Finally, the episode ends off with Shiori making an appearance at the club. Episode 1 is going to get a 9 out of 10 from me on the Grand Blue scale. Episode 1 proves Grand Blue didn't miss a beat. Chaos, comedy, and criminal amounts of thirst. Peak is finally back after 7 years. What is up, my fellow gooners? Welcome back to the second episode of Grand Blue Review. You know what? Let's just get fucking into it. First things first in this episode, starting off from last episode, we finally get introduced to Iori's sister, which is Shiori. And Iori does not give a shit that she is here at all, bro. He is mad as fuck, bro. He does not want her here at all. Then Shiori accidentally flashes Iori's like very private possession. Bro's reputation just went to hell right there. He does not want anybody figuring out what the fuck that is. Then we finally see the man, the myth, the legend himself, Kohei, in this video for the first time. And dude already just on some weird gooner shit, bro. He's gooning to Iori's sister. This man is weird. And I mean, look, this dude falls to his knees, bro. He falls to his knees for this girl. Then we finally get to, in my opinion, the best part of the episode, which is the diving. This is the stuff that Grand Blue is sort of known for besides alcohol, and the diving in this episode is perfection. Then Shiori has this talk about diving to Toshio, and this is like a beautiful conversation. I recommend checking this out for yourself. This conversation is beautiful. Then Shiori finally decides to go dive with the group, and it's just beautiful. Like straight cinema, actually. The diving in Grand Blue has always been the peakest part of Grand Blue, in my opinion. It's what it's known for. It's just great. The visuals, the sea, the everything. It's great. And finally, Iori gets his diving license, and they do a little bit of a celebration. They do a little bit of partying, you know, typical Grand Blue stuff. Then, as Shiori is digging through Iori's stuff, we get this cute little flashback between brother and sister, showing that Iori, in reality, even though he might not know a lot about his sister, he's still a good brother. The episode ends off with Shiori leaving the group, going back to her hometown, her home, and she finally changes her mind on her brother that he is actually a quite nice guy. This episode to me gets an 8 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. It wasn't as good as the first episode, but it wasn't bad either. It is still a good episode. What is up, my Gooners, and welcome back to the episode 3 of Grand Blue Review. So this episode starts off with everybody except for Chisa and Iori getting way too lit in the club, and Chisa is just disappointed in everybody. Look at her staring through the window like a gooner. She's depressed. She just hates this shit. Then it is actually revealed that Iori and Chisa, although cousins, are not blood related. After that information, Aina immediately spirals like she just uncovered forbidden knowledge. She freaks the fuck out. Kohei and Aina hatch a galaxy brain IQ plan to get Iori to confess his love or something. I guess what could go wrong, right? And to answer that question, everything goes wrong because it's Kohei, and Kohei is a straight gooner. Then Iori says Nanaka's body is hot out loud like a death wish with a smile, and she hears it, and then Iori's just straight gooning. Everyone's gooning. He's done. Then what Iori says leads to maximum tension between the two. Nanaka is either ready to marry him or murder him. No in between. Look at the distance right here. Crazy. Then Azusa slides in like a queen and bails Iori out before he gets dragged into a dungeon wedding. And now that we're looking back on it, I believe Azusa is a genius. She's a straight genius. After they make up, the trio then decides to hit the bar. Drinks, chaos, zero emotional maturity. Classic Grand Blue. This is like the best part about Grand Blue right here. And Iori realizes that the 4 seniors in the club have a really great relationship and have spent so much time on their relationship. And we end off with Chisa nursing Aina like a caring older sister right before Aina probably throws up again. This episode to me gets a 9 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. Way better than the last episode. This episode felt way more Grand Blue-esque. What is up, you Gooners, and welcome back to Grand Blue Episode 4 Review. This episode starts off with Aina wanting to plan a party with no boys allowed, just a straight girl night. No Gooners allowed, you know what I'm saying? No Gooners allowed, bruh. During this party, Iori walks in at the worst possible moment. He's trying to get a goon session in real quick, as you can tell. And Chisa's like, whoa, slow down there, bro chacho. I can't let you goon in my party. Nah, no gooning allowed, as I just said. Then Iori does it again, and you can see Chisa trying to explain herself, and Iori goes full apeshit psycho mode on her. We see Iori's friend trying to borrow a porno from Iori, and instead of it being a porno, it was a scuba diving documentation, and just take a guess who has the actual porno. It was Chisa. Then we finally get to see the GOAT Kohei join in, and he's only here for one reason: a ticket to a festival that Chisa happens to have. And Iori and Kohei are like game planning this shit, masterminding to get this ticket. Chisa holds on to the golden ticket like it's a sacred treasure. Look at the whole grade. Fucking trying to get this ticket, bro. Everyone's trying to get this ticket. Everyone's trying to goon. Chisa's not letting anyone goon. So the Scum Bros decide to make some sort of challenge to try to get Chisa to give them a ticket. As we see the first man go up and try to challenge Chisa. And Chisa was just not effing with this guy at all. She did not give a fuck, bruh. She rejected the shit out of this man. And look at their faces. They're all disappointed. They're fucking angry at this guy. He sucks. We got the next man up. And basically his whole reason is that if I don't get this ticket, you have to be my boyfriend. And Chisa relies on Iori with the fake dating persona. And it helps. It actually works. Next man up is Kohei, and this motherfucker tries to bribe Chisa. Our fourth man is up, and he takes a leap of faith at Chisa, trying to goon all over her. And Chisa says, nuh-uh, literally just picks up her phone and distances herself from him. Next man up is Iori, and he just gets dragged away, no chance at all. We have the final man up from the Scum Bros, and he actually has the best route of doing this, which is the nicest way possible, except Kohei takes this motherfucker out. Now they're all having a fight over this shit, and they're all gooning somehow, and it's all turned to shit. Although, somehow in the end, they all end up going somehow, and Chisa is severely disappointed in all of this. What is up, Gooners, and welcome back to Grand Blue Season 2 Episode 5 review. Anyway, this episode starts off with where we ended off last episode, talking about some fucking festival, and Iori's trying to rizz all these girls up, and it's just not happening because this dude is working with Ayana at a maid store. You can see here, he's begging Chisa to also do with him because he does not want to be alone doing this gay-ass gooner shit. And Chisa's like, hell nah. And then Iori brings up the ocean, and she's like, hell yeah. Basically, all of Ayana's friends are just straight gooning to Iori and Kohei in these maid outfits. Even though, look at them, they look ugly as fuck. Look at her try to snag a photo right there. Like, this bitch thinks she can stand a chance against Iori and Kohei. And look at him try to goon all over Chisa over here. Okay? You're not him, buddy. You are not a main character. Get the fuck out of here. And then Azusa pulls up to the maid cafe. Quite possibly the worst situation. And then look at her lift up Iori's skirt, bro. What are we doing? Then look at Kohei over here, trying to nonchalant or a Rizmax over here. Like, you're not him, buddy. Then Kohei starts gooning, and he's out of there, bruh. He's out of there. He's out of that maid cafe because Azusa needs someone's help. And then the 4 goon bros pull up on Iori in this maid outfit, and they're just straight gooning on Iori. This might sound hella gay, and Iori is not here for that, bruh. He's not here for that. The 4 gooners are gooning on a dude. And Iori's like freaking the fuck out. He doesn't know what to do, man. He's done with his life right now. But apparently, the Scum Bros don't even know it's Iori in the maid outfit. So this could be a good thing. He's going in there trying to fucking kill him, trying to find the alcohol to kill them. And then Ayana's like, use this shit. And Iori's like, will this kill them? No the fucking won't, Iori. We are not trying to murder people out here. And then look at these dudes trying to rizz all over Iori. Iori is not having this, bro. He's trying to get them the fuck out of there immediately. So he uses one of the phones to text the person's girlfriend, who we will see later on in the show. And he's out of there, bro. He was gone. These guys are fucking out. Iori's mission is accomplished. These gooners are out of the maid cafe. They need to leave immediately. He's like, take him with you type shit. And look at that face. He's enjoying this. And then Iori gets kicked out of the maid cafe. So now we're all kicked out of the fucking maid cafe. And we're all trying to goon still because we're at a festival. And they see this bitch-ass commercial on their phone. And it's the maid cafe gooners who have taken off their makeup. They took off their makeup once the gooners were gone. And now Iori and the bros are trying to get back into the maid cafe. Basically, this episode is kind of a setup episode for the next episode of Grand Blue, which is going to be straight heat. This episode, to me, gets an 8.2 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. Basically a setup episode. The next episode will be fire, although this episode was still pretty good. Usual Grand Blue things happen this episode. Peak comedy.
What is up, you bums, and welcome back to Grand Blue Season 2, Episode 6 review. This episode starts off with what happened in the last episode of Iori and the bros trying to get back in to start gooning to the girls, and they don't ever make it back in. In fact, you can see the 2 cops staring upon them, not making it back in. And they try again to get back in, and it's just, the cops are not having this. Iori tries to leave the bros for a sacrifice, and they're like, nah, no, hell no, man. They grab onto the feet right here. Crazy shit going down right there. The cops are not having this. And then finally, the GOAT Azusa comes in, and she's like, I'm gonna save all y'all because Azusa's the GOAT, saving everybody in the show. Straight Sigma mentality right there. Iori, you can see here, is asking for help, and she's like, hell yeah, hell yeah. And for Azusa to help, Iori and the boys have to help out at I think the concert setup that's going to be happening later. And we see as they're helping with the setup that Kohei is kind of rizzing up these girls. Nonchalant rizzing up these girls, rizzing the huzz, bro. And Iori and the bros are like, we can't be having this. This is bullshit. They end up using Kohei to get drinks with these girls. And you just know what's about to go to shit because it's Grand Blue and everything Grand Blue goes to shit. And we see here that Kohei gets a ticket from like the head guy of the concert setup shit, right? So he's excited about this ticket for the concert. As we can see here, Kohei is getting all the girls' attention. They don't care about any other person right now. And Kohei says, I'm finna bounce. I have to go see my Gooner concert later. And then it gives an opportunity for Iori and the boys to absolutely sell the bag when they could have been winning. You can see how they're selling the bag. No Riz game, no aura at all. No Riz game going on right now. Going back on the fact that Kohei is leaving, the girls did not like that Kohei was going to a Gooner concert. So Busijima, who is the pink-haired girl, decides to take Kohei's ticket without, just fucking stole it. And Iori is not having that. Bro pours beer on her fucking face. And she's just getting cooked by Iori and the boys. No one's having this. Look at Iori stand up for the bro right here. This shot is so perfection. This is a great episode so far. Nearing the end of the episode, we can see Kohei crying, and he says that the concert was so good it brought tears to his eyes. And even though the ticket was stolen, he still got in because of the concert head guy we saw earlier. As the episode ends with Iori and the boys absolutely bullying the fuck out of Kohei. This episode, to me, on my Grand Blue scale, gets the first 10 out of 10 of the series. This was perfectly adapted from the manga. This is probably going to be the best episode of season 2, but I think this episode was pure perfection. It shows a lot of Iori's character and who he actually is as a person.
What is up, you bums, and welcome back to Grand Blue Season 2, Episode 7 review. This episode starts off with us getting introduced to the Scumbros and Chisa's professor at college. I'm pretty sure he might be a little bit gay. I'm not really sure, bro. He kind of looks a little bit gay, though. Anyway, all the dudes want to do this experiment to where they have to find out how fast a machine has to hit your ball sack before it starts hurting. Okay? So we're finding the speed of the machine here to where your ball sack won't hurt. And, I think everyone's just getting cooked here. Everyone's ball sack probably starts hurting here. And now the teacher wants to do it. And they added something to where the weight is different. And as a result, we see the teacher absolutely fondling his nut sack right here. Trying to teach the class how the fuck to do this. He's in pain. Look at him crumbling to the floor. Chisa's like, these guys are fucking retarded. I agree with Chisa, though. And we transition to where all the freshmen at the university are on a car ride, and they're judging Chisa's music taste. And now the gang starts to play a song that Iori recorded back in middle school. And Iori is freaking out, bruh. He's freaking out. Look at him. Look at the veins on his hands. Look at that pump, though. And now we transition to where every first year is inside of a haunted building in groups of 2 with Chisa and Aina, and the other group being Iori and Kohei. And Aina is very scared. She's probably fucked. She's probably just shit her pants right there. I'm not gonna lie. Iori and Kohei are gooning to each other. I don't know what they're doing. They're kind of not freaked out about what's going on. I think they're just gooning. They might just be gooning. And as we leave the haunted house, we see the scars. The absolute scars on the boys and the girls' face. Okay, I think they might have been cooked up in there. And now we get to the best part of Grand Blue, the partying and the drinking, per usual. Wait, hold up. The transition to where Chisa falls on Iori and kisses his forehead. And you know what she does? She washes it down with alcohol. And this is crazy because we all know Iori might be a gooner, does not taste that bad, okay? Let's just chill out with that. And as we see for maybe the first time in the series, Chisa gets drunk. Iori is chopped, bro. Iori is cooked. And we get this conversation between Iori and Chisa walking through a hallway. And Chisa is like, I don't want you to be left out of the diving group again, so I want you to get a part-time job. So Iori can pay for himself. We're diving. When they're diving, you know what I'm saying? That's the way he does. He goes out his way and gets a part-time job, and look who's at this fucking job. It's Busijima, bruh. This episode to me gets an 8 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. I feel as if this episode skipped a lot. Although we did get a really good Chisa and Iori moment, this episode skipped a lot of chapters, or at least one chapter, that really made a difference in Grand Blue's writing. What is up, nerds, and welcome back to the Grand Blue review. We have officially reached episode 8. This episode starts off with Iori at his job. He has a job now, getting trained by Busijima, and he's probably having one of the worst experiences of his life so far. It is classic bullying by Busijima, who's just all up on Iori's pee-pee. Look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. This is overworking too hard. And we also get introduced to a new character in Grand Blue. His name, yes, that is a dude. That's a dude. His name is Otoya, I think. I think I'm saying that right. And he works with Iori and Busijima at this place. And Busijima has a crush on Otoya, who I'm pretty sure is like way underage. Anyway, it seems like Iori is actually dying at his job. This dude is laid out flat on the fucking table, done. He's donezo. And it seems like the rest of the PAB members are kind of worried about Iori's everything. Because Iori is shit-faced. He's done. He's absolutely cooked, bro. As Iori is getting that Busijima bullying, he is cooked. He is donezo. Donezo. Anyway, right here in this moment, we get introduced to the fact that Otoya is actually interested in diving and is like, he's like the team captain of his diving club or something. And Busijima wants to go now to PAB to go diving, right? Because Iori's like, oh, I dive too. You know what I'm saying? And now Busijima wants to go because Busijima has a crush on Otoya, right? So now we've all entered what the real aspect of Grand Blue is. Not the drinking, it's the diving. This is like the greatest thing of Grand Blue right here. The diving is so perfect. And basically, while diving, everyone is kind of like impressed by how Otoya is like a perfectionist when it comes to diving. He's so great at diving that he's even impressing the PAB team captains. And that's basically what Iori is trying to tell Busijima right here. And between this conversation from Busijima and Aina, it's kind of basically confirmed that Aina sort of has a crush on Iori right here. And she's like dogging on Busijima because she thinks Busijima has a crush on Iori. And we cut to this scene at the end of the episode where Otoya reveals that he might like Iori. Not as like a lover, but more as so like Otoya is like influenced by Iori and he thinks Iori is a great human being, if you get what I'm saying. This episode to me gets an 8.6 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. I actually really like this episode. I like the dynamic between Iori and Busijima throughout the episode. I think this episode is great and we are perfectly leading up to nearing the end of Grand Blue Season 2. What is up, Gooners, and welcome back to Grand Blue Episode 9 Season 2 review. This episode starts off with Chisa kind of questioning Iori on his sexual preferences over here. Because as we know last episode, the ending of last episode specifically, Otoya sort of like confesses that he likes Iori as a person, and Chisa doesn't know if that's like love or friendship type shit, if you know what I'm saying. Then we get to Chisa asking a very important question of, do you like boobs, Iori? And Iori responds with, I only like the right boob. And I think it might be chopped for everybody involved right now, and no one understands what's actually going on in this situation. And now we've gone back to Busujima, obviously still having the crush on Atoya, absolutely mogging on everyone. She's going crazy for this dude, and she's making zero progress whatsoever. So instead, Busujima and Iori go to the bar of Pab, because that's a genius idea to get some tips on love and shit. And none of it worked, apparently, because Iori brings a guitar to work. And now we're on the job site, if you get what I'm saying. Busujima's friends decide to pull up to the restaurant, and they're like, where's your man at? You know what I'm saying? Where's your man at? You know what I'm saying? And they're just like kind of just absolutely clowning on Busujima right here. And they're like, Busujima's kind of like, wait, he's not my man yet, if you get what I'm saying. So she decides to go ask Atoya out right there and right now. And just to let you know, it works horribly for her. And as we can see here, Iori takes the initiative and tries to cheer Busujima up. And Busujima kind of just like straight up fucks him right in the face. You see that shit. She bends down. She's like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, Iori. Man, Iori has no riz, no game, no aura. Except maybe he does have a little bit of aura, because it ends up working out for him in the end anyway. This episode ends off with a conversation between Ayana and Iori over text, with Ayana asking Iori to the movies. This episode gets an 8 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. Although I feel like this is a little bit too fast-paced for this episode, I still think it was a great episode, obviously, because Grand Blue is straight peak. What is up, you bums, and welcome back to Grand Blue Season 2, Episode 10 review. This episode starts off with Ayana freaking the fuck out because she just sent a text message to Iori asking Iori to go to the movies with her as a solo thing. It looks like she's finally making her move, if you get what I'm trying to say. In results of this action by Ayana, Ayana's friends come over to her place and try to hype her up and teach her all this shit to know about the date that they're going to go on tomorrow. And Ayana's friends are just straight mogging on Ayana. They're cooking her, bruh. They're cooking her. So it is the day after yesterday, which means this is date day for Ayana and Iori. And Iori probably doesn't even realize because he's cracked out of his mind right now. And they have to make this decision on what movie they're going to watch. And they end up watching one about boxing over the one about diving. And they come out of this movie and they both agree on it being a great movie. And the date still continues on after the movie, even though Ayana basically forgot that the date does have to continue on. So Iori kind of just drags her shopping, and then they end up at this restaurant, and it's kind of just cooked from here, basically. And the final thing they do on the date is eat at a restaurant. So it is the day after the date, and Ayana is just absolutely bragging to all of her PAB members that she just fried the fuck out of everyone, and she took Iori on a date, which no one else in PAB has done so far, including Koei, because we all know Koei might be a little bit gay on the inside. Anyway, Azusa and Iori both go out of the club and go for a little walk at night, and it is revealed here that Ayana has to go back home, and Azusa's not telling the full situation, which we'll get on touch earlier. But like Iori kind of thinks, oh, she's leaving PAB for like the rest of her life, if you get what I'm saying. So now Iori gets Kohei involved in this situation. And they're like pressing Ayana, and Ayana's just trying to back up. She's trying to chill with Chisa, and everyone's getting cooked. And now Iori is getting Chisa involved in this situation. And now everyone is getting cooked in PAB. All the freshmen are just getting gooned on by everybody right now. And they're all kind of thinking that, oh, Ayana is leaving because she has financial problems. And they're like, let's sell underwear and kidneys to help her, which makes no sense at all. Anyway, they visit Kohei's room, and we find out that this dude Kohei is like an established author. Like, this dude has wrote a book before in his life. And maybe Kohei is just making straight bank off his book over here, bro. Look at his room. He's got like 25 posters and 25 goon pillows in here. This motherfucker is crazy. And to end off the episode, it is revealed that Ayana, instead of leaving Pab forever, is just leaving for a little bit to go do farm work with her family. This episode gets an 8.7 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. I like this episode because of the comedy, and it shows the Pab members are true family because everyone cares about Ayana. What is up, nerds, and welcome back to Grand Blue Season 2, Episode 11 review. This episode starts off with Iori and Azusa realizing that they haven't gooned to anybody, and it feels like forever. And look at this shit. All they want to do is just straight up goon right now. And they might just get their opportunity to goon as Nanaka gets this call that they need to be going on a vacation on an uninhabited island. So you just know the gooning material for Iori and Azusa is going to be quite high on the gooning list. And as you can see, we have a lot of returning characters on this arc of Grand Blue. And they've finally reached the island after the bitch-ass boat ride that Iori had to endure. And look at this shit, man. It looks beautiful. It looks so beautiful, Kohei almost dies. And I mean, Kohei is just freaking the fuck out, bro. He's trying to goon. Look at these faces, man. He's trying to get a quick goon session in while the girls are changing. And look at the dudes changing. They're public. They're fucking public about it, man. Their dicks are hanging out like that. And look who shows up again. We get Tinkerbell's tennis captain, which we haven't seen since like season 1, episode 3 or whatever. And Busujima is also here on this island. So you just know the bullshit is about to be bullshitting on the island. And right in this moment, it is revealed to Busujima that Iori actually sort of has the girlfriend in Chisa, which we kind of know is like a fake relationship because it saves Chisa the attraction of boys hitting on her, right? And she is just baffled by this fact that Iori can riz. She doesn't know Iori's game like that, bruh. And now we get to Kohei, who, as we see during the concert episode, has a crush on Maya, this voice actor who's along for the trip. And Iori tries talking the game to get Kohei and them to hook up, and it just does not go well at all because Iori's a fucking dumbass. And now we move on to what Grand Blue does best, which is drink. And as we see, Chisa, who never does this shit, is about to fucking participate in a drinking game, which she never does. So let's see what happens here, as I think she does the first dare and it goes horribly. And now we're going up with round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5 type shit. And Chisa is basically doing all these dares because she probably sucks ass at this shit. Let's just be real. She never participates in any of this shit. As we see the dares coming out on your screen right now. And Chisa's singing. She's having a great time. And by the end of the game, we see that Chisa is now drunk as she falls into the ocean and has to go change. And while she is changing, this dude Iori opens the tent, and it's like the most awkward thing ever. But you know what Iori says during this? He says, "Thanks for the show." So now he is on the chase of his lifetime. This dude might be on the verge of death right here. He somehow outruns Chisa, and now he is lost in the forest, as Iori thinks that Chisa might have fallen down a fucking mountain or whatever. And he goes down the mountain, right? And he sees a body, and it's the fucking Pegasus tennis guy who no one cares about, is just fucking cooked. This episode of Grand Blue gets an 8.6 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. I really enjoyed seeing the anime adaptation of the thanks for the show moment between Iori and Chisa nearing the end of the episode. And I think this is a great way to kick off the uninhabited island arc of Grand Blue. And we are also nearing the end of Grand Blue Season 2, as next week will be the final episode of the season. What is up, nerds, and welcome to the finale of Grand Blue Season 2 review series. This episode of Grand Blue starts off with Otoya journeying out into the forest to try to find Iori, and Chisa wants Iori dead. And once Otoya sees the shoe and Iori's dead-ass body on the ground, he jumps down the cliff and sits right on top of Iori like a gooner. And now we have 3 people in the pit of doom. And now with the gooner magic wand that Otoya has, Kohei is summoned from out of fucking nowhere and falls down the cliff as well. So now it's a 4-man squad out of here. And now the 4 dudes are in like deep thought over what they're gonna do about their seniors graduating, as the dude over here, who's the captain of Pegasus, is a senior and will be leaving soon. And he puts thought into Iori and Kohei's mind about what the fuck are they gonna do about their 4 seniors graduating from PAB soon. And their like minds are just fucking blown because they have no idea what the fuck they're gonna do. And then they're eventually found by the 2 seniors over here. And then we cut to the next day where Azusa, Iori, and Kohei are trying to get a triple goon off the diving cliff over here, whatever the fuck they're diving off of or whatever. They're cannonballing. Who the fuck cares? They're trying to goon over here, and it did not succeed as Iori and Kohei are just absolutely getting destroyed in the ocean over here. And now we get to the ride back to the main island, and Iori and fucking voice actor Kohei Simp Girl or whatever are having a conversation, and Chisa mishears the conversation thinking it's about her when it's actually about the senior send-off shit that they've been talking about. And Chisa thinks that Iori likes her. So now Iori takes it into his own hands and knocks on Chisa's door, and Chisa freaks the fuck out behind the door, and he's like, no way, Jose, I'm getting the fucking door open. So Iori decides, let's go diving tomorrow, and we all know Chisa can never refuse diving, so she goes diving with Iori anyway. And as we're about to get into the ocean, Chisa does this check on Iori's equipment and shit and make sure everything's right. And Iori's like, all right, let me do it to you. And she's like, no way, Jose, bruh. I'm not letting you touch me. So they both go in, and Chisa realizes she has forgotten her weight belt, which probably wouldn't have happened if Iori checked her. So now it's all cooked, and Iori's kind of cocky bitch attitude over here. He's like, that would not have happened in the reading manual or whatever the fuck it's called. Then Chisa asks if Iori loves her. And Iori, not knowing anything, just says yes, because he's Iori. And Chisa starts freaking the fuck out. And Iori tries to calm the situation down, you know what I'm saying? He successfully does it, right? And now Iori gets beat the fuck up because he said, you kind of have a nice chest. And he gets cooked for this, man. He gets cooked. And then we get this chill-ass moment between the 2, both realizing who they are and that they'll probably be together, or at least known of each other, probably for the rest of their lives, probably. To end off the episode, we have Nanaka calling their mom, and it's a cliffhanger, because fuck you. This episode of Grand Blue gets a 9.5 out of 10 on my Grand Blue scale. I think this is a great way to end off Season 2, as we can head into Season 3, where the much more exciting part of the manga happens. And Season 3 is going to be so peak, it's going to be fucking crazy. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video and this series. Subscribe for more, and hit the like button if you want to see more Grand Blue Season 3, you know what I'm saying? Hype for that shit already, bruh.